You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Ruth Langsford, Frankie Bridge, Linda Robson, and Janet Street Porter.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. You're a lovely, lively lot today. Like a pint of whatever you're on. And hello to you. Welcome to you at home. It's lovely to have your company. On this, the day some call Blue Monday, but not here. Stick with us and we're going to cheer you up over the next hour. And coming up... Yes, the Masked Singer's first ever duo, Cat and Mouse, were revealed at the weekend as husband and wife pop duo Martin and Shirley Kemp. They will be joining us live. Also, we've got all the inside gossip and pictures from Frankie's birthday bash on Saturday night. Apparently, she was up until 4 a.m. Oh. So we're asking, do you wish you were as wild as Frankie?
I'm not wild!
Oh, we saw it. We saw the pictures. And... living with chronic back pain, S Club 7 singer Jo Amira on the crippling condition that left her in agony and fearing for her future. And with rumours of an S Club reunion, will she ever be able to dance again? Jo will be here at 1 o'clock. But we're starting today with desperate state of our NHS, which, as we know, is in the midst of a crisis. Now, one solution which has been proposed by Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer is that patients would be able to self-refer for specialist help without having to see the GP first. So this is something he's come up with. He said, we're getting rid of, bureaucracy and red tape and paperwork, and you should be able to take yourself to a specialist. Will it work?
There's a problem with this idea, which is that people already Google their conditions.
And disappear down a rabbit hole.
Exactly. So you might be referring yourself to completely the wrong specialist, which would waste more time. And if you shop around and find a specialist in an area with a short waiting list, if everybody has that information available on the internet, then that short waiting list could quickly become a very long waiting list, so it'll be self-defeating. And the problem with the NHS is not so much going in at one end. If you put more people in at one end, it's discharging them. There's a bottleneck discharging them at the other. And there's a piece of information in the papers today that says that at the moment it takes 50 pieces of bureaucracy to get someone out of their hospital bed and back home. Yep. And that is the problem. I think that self-referral is something that already goes on if you can afford it. And I've done it when I had skin cancer and I had the melanoma on my nose. I was glad that I had done it because I could not put up with the waiting list and the idea that I might have to wait months. And I think there are some conditions now where it would be much better.
Well, I think if you have a recurring condition, OK, so maybe you are referred to a specialist.
Yeah.
Once you've been to that specialist and you know it's eczema and he knows it's eczema and they're treating you, if you then have to go back again in 6 months, maybe that's when you go, well, I could go straight to that specialist because you know that's what it is. The worry for me would be, as you said, people Googling, oh, I've got this funny lump on my arm. They Google away and they convince themselves it's a cancerous lump. So they find a specialist and they refer themselves. By the time they get to that specialist and he says, actually, it's not a cancerous lump at all, it's something else, and actually you've wasted your own time and that could be getting worse. You've wasted his time. For me, I presume where the GPs come in, although it's difficult to get an appointment, I appreciate that, but the GP at that point could say, now let's calm down, I know you're concerned this is cancer, but actually let's take whatever, a biopsy or something, or he might say that's actually
Yeah,
a
but
polyp
GPs
or
aren't taking the biopsies. They're referring you to specialists through the NHS that can take a long time.
OK, say it wasn't that. Say it was a headache, right? Someone's getting chronic headaches and they convince themselves on Google, I think I've probably got a brain tumour. And people do, they get scared. If you went to the GP and they say, let's calm down here, they talk to you about your lifestyle and say, actually, I think this is migraine and let's put you on this medication, that, you know, and it turns out it was migraine and the medication would help. That person could have waited to see a specialist and actually it wasn't that at all. That's where I would be concerned, is that so many people would be referring themselves, and a lot of people who get very anxious about their health.
Yeah, but at the moment, everybody wants results and you can't really blame them. They've been through COVID.
Yeah, I know.
And when I was diagnosed, this thing on my face isn't just any old spot, it's a basal cell carcinoma. I mean, I wanted it got rid of.
What about Frankie? Would you like the idea of being able to go straight to a specialist without
I
going
think
through
in
the
some
GP?
cases, yes. Like, I think for me, you know, I've got 2 kids, they're very different. Parker has asthma, he's got eczema, he has stomach issues, and we know that now. And sometimes it is frustrating when you know what you need to have to wait for a GP appointment, then go to the GP appointment, and then wait for the appointment for the referral that you already knew you needed. You could cut out that middleman if you know what it is, but I agree with you in that if you don't know what it is, I am one of those people, I quite like a referral. I don't really, I think like a lot of people, unfortunately, we've kind of lost a bit of trust with a GP because 1, you can't get an appointment, and 2, you know they get what, like 10 minutes with you or whatever, something even less than that. You know they've got to be quick and get you out. So I think sometimes I'm looking for that referral. So if I had to miss the GP, I'd
so how do you know? How do you know which specialist to refer yourself to?
I did my own self-referral because one of my kids had really, really bad eczema, was born with it. So we had to, we went to the doctors and they gave them hydrocortisone creams, which is actually really bad for them long-term or whatever, because it just pushes the eczema back in. So we found a herbalist that we went to and they gave us this, mixture of all herbs and everything. And we used to bath him in this, but the herbalist also said the best thing to do with anything like eczema is to take him off of any dairy. So don't give him anything from a cow. So we never gave him anything from a cow. We found goat's milk, we gave him goat's milk. I mean, now it's so easy. Honestly, it really, really did help. Now you can get goat's milk, oat milk, all different kinds of milk.
But I assume you had been to a GP first to be told it's eczema.
Yeah, we'd done all that. Well, we knew as soon as it was
let us know what you think. You know, do you like that idea of being able to refer yourself to specialists without going through your GP? And as Keir Starmer says, getting rid of the bureaucratic nonsense, as he calls it. We'd love to hear what you think. Now, it is a big day, or was, sorry, a big day yesterday, and if you don't know why, maybe you should, because it's pretty important. Yesterday was National Pothole Day. Ooh. Yes? Who knew?
There's a day for everything.
Who knew? There is a National Pothole Day, and the aim of it is to encourage us to report sightings of potholes. And they say that makes you a good citizen. And I have to say, I mean, I know people that have had their cars really badly damaged by potholes, and you are able, aren't you, to contact your local council and go down a compensation route. So, listen, if I spent all my time reporting every pothole I drove over, I literally wouldn't be here today, I'd be sitting on the phone. But if I did find a really huge pothole and I felt my car had been damaged or I thought it was dangerous, I think, that I could spend my time and ring the council and say there's a really dangerous pothole on this road, I think somebody needs to come and look at it.
Is there a pothole helpline then?
There is, Linda. Let me refer to my notes. You contact Highways England if the pothole is on a motorway or an A road. They manage England. You can report a pothole on www.gov.uk/report-pothole.
Well,
We'll put that on our website.
Yeah, well, recently, as I told everyone on this show, my front tyre was completely destroyed by a pothole in the Scottish borders on my way to Glasgow for Hogmanay. But as I was in the dark, without a phone signal, with a flat tyre, not in the middle of absolutely nowhere, I would not have been able to phone a pothole.
But would you phone it? Say you're in London
actually, when that kind of thing happens and your tyre goes down, you don't know which pothole it was, because let's be honest, there are millions. And didn't Rod Stewart mend all the potholes
in his road?
Not himself. He got someone in to fix them.
Well, he was there.
There was a picture
he was there.
There he is. Rod. in his high-vis vest.
Well, I
Frankie,
must
would
be
you?
a bad citizen because I wouldn't report them. I wouldn't know where to report them. Like, where I live, they are so bad. They're everywhere. I'd be like, I'd be on the phone all the time. And so no one must be reporting
then
them.
if
And then I
people-
think if you rang them, they probably wouldn't do it anyway.
But then if everybody had your attitude, Frankie Bridge...
Well, Ruth.
young lady. If everyone had your attitude, young lady, well, nothing would get... You know, because if nobody reports anything... It's like if you were... Say you... Right, Frankie, here's a question. You are in a restaurant, right, really nice restaurant, and you go, I'm just nipping to the ladies, and you use the last bit of the toilet roll. Now, I would go out very quietly and go to one of the staff and go, hi, excuse me, just to let you know, there's no paper in cubicle number 3, I've just used the last bit. Would you do that?
Absolutely not.
I will. Bad citizen.
I am.
I would, and I'll tell them the toilet's filthy and get someone in there to clean it.
And you know what? They probably hanged you off.
No, but if I've got a complaint, I'm not very good at complaining, but I've got a daughter that's really good at complaining because she used to work for radio taxis in the complaint department. So if there's anything
She knows
to
the
complain
lingo
about,
and
she knows
everything.
exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
I've had parking tickets that I shouldn't have had. She makes sure I don't have to pay them.
It is the way you complain.
It is, honestly.
sometimes,
She's
isn't it?
really good at complaining. If we go into a restaurant and something's bad, she'll complain and she ends up getting a voucher for it because she's complained about it. She's always very nice, but she
That's
knows
the thing.
exactly what to
You
do
just have
and
to
what
be
say.
polite.
I just like to moan about it and then not do anything about
Oh, see, we're all like that. Where would the country be? OK, we've got to take a break now. But coming up, the inside scoop on Frankie's wild birthday bash. There she is. And we're talking about the 4th deadly sin, jealousy. Find out which one of us was riddled with envy over their best friend's career. See you in a bit. Thank you very much. Welcome back to Loose Women. It's lovely to have your company this afternoon. And coming up, she had the world at her feet in S Club 7, but a decision not to undergo back surgery when she was younger has left Jo O'Meara battling chronic pain. Talking to Jo all about that at 1 o'clock. Before that, though, Frankie, she had a bit of a wild party for her birthday at the weekend.
It was not
Well,
wild.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ. Well, we can't promise wildness here, but we would like to say happy birthday to Frankie.
Always wanted. Thanks, Linda. Did you make that?
I made it. I was up all night.
Oh, thank you. Look, Janet's really impressed because it's a really big birthday.
43.
43.
43.
34.
I feel like I'm 43. Thanks, guys.
We're saying it's a wild party.
Yeah.
Because we saw stuff on your Instagram. It looked great fun. But then I know you go to bed about 8:30 normally.
I know,
so
yeah.
how did it, how did it go for you? Did you stay up a
You
little
know
bit
what?
longer?
I actually stayed up till 4 a.m. I know, who do I think I am? But it was at my own house, so Wayne, bless him, organised it for me as a secret, a surprise.
Surprise.
And I can't talk anymore, 34. He said to me, I've done it at home because then if you want to go to bed and everyone else still wants to carry on, you can go to bed. And then he started it at 4:30 in the afternoon in the hope that it would end early. And I was in my pyjamas while everyone was still there, and I was like bouncing around with like no shoes
With a
on.
fish bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did have a fishbowl, yeah.
Yeah, but you had friends there that you said you ended up dancing.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
a couple of my best friends I haven't seen for a while, and they came over, and back in the day I used to be a bit of like a emo little rocker, and we just spent the whole time bouncing around like we were in mosh pits for the rest of the night. And all my friends from where I live now, like mum friends, were looking at me like, who the hell is that? Yeah.
But Janet,
So
it does.
that's my version of
I
Frankie.
think those things of getting together with really old friends like that, it does kind of take you back to your wilder days, doesn't it?
My wild days never stopped. I remember my 50th. My friend's dad said, I'll make you some rum. I went, will you do it in a plastic dustbin? So we had drinks out of a plastic dustbin, and I could not remember a lot of the party, but I know that Johnny Rotten came and people were queuing up to have him insult them. So it was a huge success. No, I've never stopped being wild. If there was a
No,
really
no,
good
she- I
party,
think
I've slightly
Janet's
got
wild.
home.
She's
I
the
wasn't
wild
invited
one.
to hers,
Yeah,
but...
sorry, Janet.
It's
Are you
all right,
wild one,
darling.
Linda?
I was always wild. I was always the last one to leave. I used to go clubbing. Me and Pauline would go clubbing. We used to go to Stringfellows. We used to go everywhere and come home at like 3 o'clock in the morning and whatever. And there was this club called Fabric down Clerkenwell that we used to go to as well. It lived right near you, didn't you? So I remember
know.
screaming outside your window, Janet, come out and have a drink with us.
That is one of the reasons I
you
sold
moved?
that house, because it was near 2 nightclubs, Fabric and Trade, where people would come out at 4 o'clock in the morning off their...
was Linda.
They go in the petrol station, have some impulse munchie purchase, like a sliced bread, and stand dancing outside my house going, Janet, are you in? Now you know
She
it
never
was...
come out. She's always been a miserable cat.
But you're still the last to leave a party.
I'm still the last to leave a party. We once went to a club, me and Pauline, and George Michael was in there. And he was sitting at the bar with this woman, and we went, right, we're not leaving till he leaves. It was daylight when we come out of the club. When I come home, my husband, where have you been till this time in the morning? I couldn't leave because George Michael was still in there.
It's a long time since I came out of a nightclub when it was daylight, I tell you.
I know,
I'm with Frankie, bed at 9:30
Yeah,
now.
I have Jolo, joy of missing out. Jomo? Yeah.
Joy of missing out. She's got
She's
fear of
got
missing
FOMO.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OK, well, we are going to have a competition for you now. How do you fancy winning £60,000? Not just that, though. You get a car as well. Yeah, it's a really good one. So Craig Doyle, he's live in Bath, in lovely Bath. Hello, Craig. It looks beautiful there. Love Bath.
Hello. Do you know, it's gorgeous, Ruth, and there's loads of tours here. It's freezing cold, but the place is absolutely hopping. And this is a bit of a home from home for me, so I'm really excited about showing you all around. I'm torn at the moment, Ruth, whether to bring you into the pump room or take you for a dip in the cross bath. Any preferences? Shall I just stew on it? I'll come back to you later on that.
room.
What I am going to tell you about, though, is the competition. The pump room! Ladies, let's get in that pump room, OK? I'll get back to you on that one. I'm going to tell you about the competition first. It's a beauty, as you said. £60,000 in tax-free cash could be yours, dropping into your bank account. And then this is a big car. Yeah, you like it? It is a Jeep. It's £44,000. It's white, it's hybrid, and it's really, really good fun to drive. It's all part of the prize, which totals over £104,000. You want to win it? Of course you do. This is how you get involved.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY03 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 3rd of February at 3 p.m. Best of luck.
Yeah, I'm going to need 5 tickets. Yes, and Janet Street Porter is coming in. All sorted, ladies. We're here ready for you in Bath.
We'll
Good
be
luck with
there.
the competition to all of you at home. We'll see you very soon.
We'll be there,
excited.
Craig. Don't you worry. Get those tickets for us. Now, Love Island kicks off tonight on ITV2, but despite winning the last series, Ekin-Su found herself bottom on last night's Dancing on Ice after her racy routine failed to win votes. Her partner Davide was ringside, but she says there was no jealousy involved. Ekin-Su said, he's not jealous, he'll enjoy me being sexy. Well, that's easy for Davide, isn't it? Because he's hot and gorgeous. Like, he's probably not going to be jealous, is he? Because he's going to go, none of those guys look like me. So, you know, easy not to be jealous, Davide. I, on the other hand, would not be able to hide my...
Really?
Well, you know me, Janet. I'm like the colour of her jumper, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Even if Eamon did Dancing on Ice?
Can you imagine?
Can I just say,
On crutches
Not so
at the
jealous
moment.
now, yeah.
Eamon is like a woman magnet.
He is.
When I went to his
'cause he's
60th
fun.
birthday,
Yeah.
he's fun, so he's just surrounded by women
Yeah.
the whole time.
And he likes women. He likes women's company.
So
probably
when you're
prefers it.
smiling and Eamon's surrounded by women, your jaw goes all to...
Well, what I do... So if it's mates, and I mean, he's got a lot of really
Yeah,
good female
yeah.
friends, and that's not a problem to me. But if I was somewhere and I thought, she's been coming on to my husband a bit, she's been talking to him a bit long, I do this, I come over and go, hi, I don't think we've met, I'm Eamon's wife.
With that face.
With that face.
I bet he loves it,
face.
though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Makes him
Well,
feel
jealousy is a funny thing, isn't it? Because a little bit of jealousy can make someone feel a bit special, like, oh, she still really obviously cares about me. Over too much, it can be overbearing.
Yeah. See, I'm just not jealous at all. I'm just
At
not
all?
that kind of person, yeah. I don't really see the point in it, especially in a relationship. I just think people are going to do whatever they're going to do. What's the point in winding yourself
But then if
up
you don't
about
show,
it?
let's just say someone was flirting with Wayne, if you'd show nothing, like you hadn't even noticed, would he not just think, well, she doesn't care?
Well, no, because I just think it's a bit of a compliment now that, like, someone else fancies your man. Surely. Yeah. I'm like, you can give it a go, girl, but you're not getting anywhere.
No, this is going to sound really terrible because I had jealousy over my best friend Pauline. So, I mean, we've grown up since we were 10 years of age and always been best mates and everything, and never been jealous of anything, partners or anything like that. But it was just like, after Birds finished, then all of a sudden she started getting all these big dramas. So she did The Sculptress, where she played a murderer. Then she did Broadchurch and everything. And I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's lovely, I'm really pleased for her. But what about me? Why can't I get a nice, juicy drama?
I used to be like that when I started in Fleet Street. I'd see these women who were less intelligent than me but wore all the right clothes, because back in the day, it was bloke world, blokes run everything. So they had... You know, need I say more? No. I was absolutely furious.
Didn't like it, no.
Didn't like it.
But where are they now, Janet?
Yeah, down the dumper. Yeah. Oh, how childish we are.
How childish, but how true. OK, we've got to take another break. After that, then we've got Jo. She's got the flow. Those are the famous S Club 7 lyrics, but behind the scenes, Jo Amira was suffering from a crippling back condition at the height of her fame. She's joining us today to tell us why she fears she may never dance again. Also, masked singer evictees Cat and Mouse, who we now know are Martin and Shirley Kemp. They will be with us live to tell us all about that moment they were revealed. See you right after this.
Are you ready for a New Year clear-out? Nick Knowles has heard the SOS and is joining Loose Women to talk decluttering, how to make money from unloved items and effective hacks to make your home look and feel great. He'll also be talking about life after 60. Nick Knowles, Wednesday at 12:30.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to your first Loose Women of the Week. And getting loose-lipped this lunchtime, it is Frankie Bridge, Linda Robson, Janet Street Porter and me, Ruth Langsford. And still to come, Martin and Shirley Kemp were revealed as the Masked Singer's first ever duo, Cat and Mouse, on Saturday night. They'll be telling us all about their son Roman's very stunned reaction. It's hilarious, actually. First time for our first guest, and she has got one of pop's most recognisable voices.
Don't stop, never give up. Hold your head high and reach the top. Let the world see what you have got. Bring it all back to you.
Back in 1999, S Club 7 exploded onto the pop music scene and went on to dominate the charts in the early noughties. Members: Rachel, John, Bradley, Tina, Paul, Hannah and lead singer Jo. She had the world at her feet and it seemed as if nothing could go wrong. But a crippling back injury and the decision to not undergo surgery at the time meant the condition would come back to haunt Jo later in life. After 4 operations on her back, Jo joins us today to update us on how she's doing and to tell us if she'll ever be able to dance again.
Now, just 6 weeks ago, she had back surgery. So very, very recently. She's here today. We've just got her up on the stool.
Yes.
You all right?
Yes, I'm good.
So 6 weeks, that's not long ago.
No.
I mean, obviously, I know with my husband.
I know.
You and he talk all the time.
We do,
You know, it's
we
a
do.
slow process getting back. So where are you at the moment?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm a lot better than what I was. Yeah, it's been a really rough few months, to be honest. It's been very painful.
Yeah.
It's been... I've had good days and bad days with it. I think sometimes you just got to soldier through it, and then other times you just think, oh, how long is this pain going to last for?
Take us back to when it first started then, when you first had your first back operation.
The first, well, this time round, it's been... September was my first. I've had literally 4 in 3
But
months.
it actually happened years ago, didn't it? Because I remember, because I was in a band called S Club Juniors, and we did a tour with S Club 7 called S Club United. And I even remember then, I remember that tour, and because I obviously didn't know what had happened, but I remember thinking, oh, Jo's not dancing on stage anymore. Everyone kind of had to manoeuvre you around. Yeah.
So how old,
different parts.
how old were you then?
22, I think.
So, and that's when it started? You had
Yeah, well, back then I had 2 bulging discs, and they wanted to operate back then, but the schedule was so busy, there just wasn't any time to do it, and we ended up attacking it with steroid injections. And that did seem to do the trick, you know, with medication and stuff. But this time round, it was 4.
So over the years, like Frankie was saying, that started when she can remember. Back then, you did steroids. And also, when you're young, sometimes you go, oh, I'll be fine, I'll work through it, it'll be fine. During your life then, you know, obviously you've had one very recently, but how did it present itself and how often did it flare up?
Do you know what? For the 20 years, it was pretty much 20 years to the day. It's so weird because I didn't have any problems at all. Like, even throughout my pregnancy and stuff, I was absolutely fine. It was just... I started getting, like, these backaches and I was just, you know, putting it down to sort of, like, exercising too much or, you know, lady things, you know, just all different sorts of stuff. And I went to go and see an osteopath and she sort of, like, looked and I was telling her what my symptoms were. She said, Jo, I think you've got a slipped disc. I was like, oh. So I went and got the MRI scan and it showed I actually had 4.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, the the sciatica was horrendous. The pain was the worst I've
How
ever
did you
known.
deal with pain?
Oh, probably the same way as Eamon, I suppose. You know, moaned a hell of a lot through it, cried an awful lot.
But it must be hard for your mental health, though, when you're at home. I know, but you're someone that's used to being active and moving around.
Yeah.
When you're at home and you're having to rely on other people,
Yeah,
it must start getting to you after a while.
It does. I mean, there were some days where you just don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. And do you know what? Since I've been going through all of this, I've had so many messages from so many people that are going through exactly the same thing. It's unbelievable. So, you know, it seems like it feels like it's quite a common thing.
Well, slip disc is really, really common, and back pain's the most common, you know, reason why people take time off work in this country. I had 2 slip discs, and I had 2 disc operations, so I know what you went through, but I also understand your reluctance because you think when they say they're going to cut the bulging bit of disc out,
that's it.
You think you'll never walk again.
Yeah.
And they tell you will, and they even tell you walk on the day of the operation.
They do say that.
And
yeah,
they said,
I
said to me, I've got to be able to walk to the bathroom.
Yeah.
On the day of the... And you couldn't you?
I got up, and it was, honestly, I just thought, oh... Because there is this, I think you do get like this fear, because just before I had the surgery done, they did say to me, you know, Jo, there is a very, you know, it could be very likely that you won't dance properly to full capacity again, or like there could be more like implications with the bowel, and you just start thinking, oh,
But
no,
you also had a
please.
blood clot as well, didn't you?
Yeah, when they done the surgery, they found a blood clot in there as well. So I've been so lucky.
Well, lucky they found it.
Lucky that
Not
they
lucky
found
with the
it.
back problem,
And I'm up, I'm walking.
How about your son Lenny? Because we were saying, and you have been so good with Eamon, and that you talk, the two of you talk. And it's great because, you know, as sympathetic as your family try to be and understanding, if you don't experience that pain, for such a long time, it's hard to totally understand it. So you do need people to talk to. I know you
completely get where you're coming from.
So how does Lenny? How old is Lenny?
14.
14. So how's he dealt with his mum being like this?
He's been really good, actually. Yeah, I mean, considering he's a 14-year-old, very hormonal teenage boy, he's really kind. Yeah, he's been really good, really good.
And you're on your own as well, aren't you? It's just you and Lenny.
Yeah. I'm very lucky, though. I've got, like, my best friend lives next door, so she's been absolutely amazing. Her and her mum.
How do you find that? Because Eamon says he finds that difficult, having to rely on people, rely on us to help him do sometimes the most simple tasks.
And it's the really simple tasks that are the most challenging. Like, if you just drop something on the floor, you just automatically go to pick it up and you think, oh, you can't do that. Even, like, now with a cough or a sneeze, it's like, engage the core.
Do it properly. You have to do the physio every day.
You do.
But something awful happened to you recently, you know, during this recovery period. Some really unflattering pictures of you appeared in the press. I mean, that to me is a really low blow.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's disgusting.
I can't even defend it. That is what I look like. And that's the most...
That's what we all look like when we're
Do you know
out
when
walking
you
the
say,
dog?
oh, no, it was, you know, it was a really bad day? No, that was it. And I was absolutely, like, mortified.
So
But then
this
I
is they
thought,
snapped you in your wheelchair?
well, no, they've just got me out walking the dogs. But, I just feel so lucky I'm able to go out and take the dogs for a walk. I thought, oh, it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, I've definitely had better days. Listen, the way I look at it, it can't get any worse now. So, you know, every day's a better day. Thank God.
And I want to know.
Ooh.
Are S Club 7 getting back together?
Everyone is asking this.
Well, there's
Because everyone wants it to happen, Jo.
Do you know what? I would absolutely love to. I would love to. You know, we are all talking. We all do still speak. The rumours, do you know what, the papers, they always sort of like pick up on this story every once in a little blue moon and the rumour mill goes into overdrive. But in reality, getting the 7 of us together at the same time,
a lot of people to get
you
together.
know, some are married, we've all got children of different ages. It's quite tough to get us all together at the same time, but you never know.
Oh,
Do we want S Club 7 back? Come on, Jo. Do it. Well, listen, we're sorry you've had such a rough time, but, you know, like you said, you've got a lot of support out there and there's always someone ahead of you, like Janet said. I had it, and look, you do get there. It's that light at the end of the tunnel, isn't it? And thank you for helping my husband so much.
No, and thank him as well, honestly.
Thank you, Jo Mirror, everybody. Now, if you have chronic pain, it's a terrible thing, and if you have experienced any pain similar to Jo's, then we have details of organisations that can help you. They'll be on the ITV website. So coming up next, Cat and Mouse were unmasked live on The Masked Singer on Saturday night. Did you guess it was Martin and Shirley Kemp? They'll be telling us how they managed to keep the secret even from their own kids when they join us live next. To Loose Women. Now, in just a moment, Martin and Shirley Kemp, the Masked Singers Cat and Mouse, tell us why the show was their most nerve-wracking gig ever. First, though, a brand new competition. Craig Doyle is live for us in Bath. I think he was going into the pump room last time we saw him. Oh, I hope you're appropriately dressed, Craig Doyle.
Hey, ladies. How are you? Look, I know I promised you the pump room, but I had to just give you the cross spring instead, because this is just phenomenal. I mean, this is just unbelievable, right? It's heated. It comes from the ground. This comes from the deep thermals. This is heated to 46 degrees by the earth itself. It pours in here. And look at this. You're in the middle of Bath. You're in the centre of the city. And you can come into a public session, or you can hire it all for yourself. Just a whole day just lounging around in this beautiful warm water, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Before that, though, I'm going to tell you about this competition. It's an absolute beauty. 60 grand in tax-free cash, plus a car worth £44,000. It's a lovely vehicle, it's hybrid, and it'll suit any conditions. And you know what? If you win, get in the car, drive down here. I'll try and book the place out for us. This is how you enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY03 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 3rd of February at 3 p.m. Best of luck.
So there you have it, 60 grand in cash. It could be yours. Ladies, I've got the place for about another 2 hours, so I don't know how fast the train is from London, but I'm here. You know, I'm here.
You know, Craig, I reckon we make it. Yeah, we'll be there. OK, back to Loose Women. So far in this series of The Masked Singer, we have seen Chris Kamara and music icon Lulu unmasked in front of an audience of millions. This week, another couple of music's finest were unmasked. Cat and Mouse were finally out of the bag.
Cat and Mouse! Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
I feel like cheating, professional.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Maybe that's the duo Tom Fletcher and Giovanna Fletcher.
That's a good guess.
Convinced that this is a couple from EastEnders. Could it be Maisie Smith and Adam Woodyard?
That's good.
Who is it?
And there they were. Please welcome Cat and Mouse, Martin and Shirley Kemp. You sneaky little two, you.
I got to say, that was the most fun that we have had for so long.
But how did you keep it secret?
Well, I don't, you know, like my boy and my girl, they don't live with us anymore. They've got their own homes. So it was kind of our secret. And we were just going out to work every day. They didn't know about it. But it was all to do. I said, how good would it be if we could keep it secret and have that moment that everybody saw?
That's the point of the
Are
show.
you good at keeping secrets, though, Shirley,
I'm
generally?
really good at keeping secrets. Yeah, good little actress, really.
Didn't they try and guess it was you, though, at one point?
Oh, yeah, but I was deep in denial. And I always say this to my kids, you know, I don't really like the limelight. You know, I wouldn't really do that type of thing. So that's Roman was like, you like lying, so you didn't like their limelight.
Well, look, if you missed it, it's absolutely priceless. OK, so he'd had his suspicions and you'd thrown him off the scent.
Yeah, kept throwing him off,
So this is Ronan discovering that Cat and Mouse were actually his mum and dad.
Shut the up! Oh my God, I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! You're a liar! You're a liar! Look at him over there! You are such a liar!
What a moment, Shirley.
You know what? It's easy to lie to them because they don't live at home. So if they lived at home, that would have been hard creeping out of the house because you are covered, hands, everything. You have to get into this taxi like no one knows who you are. So it was easy for us to lie. So.
Yeah, so just talk us through logistics, OK? So you get the call and you talk at Manx, you say, let's do it, it's going to be great fun.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, nobody can know. They cover you balaclavas and crash helmets.
Yep.
It's like being kidnapped.
Yeah, they cover you from head to toe. You know, one night we were at the studio working as Cat and Mouse, so when they send you home, they put you all back in the balaclavas and the sunglasses and the gloves and all of that.
Were you allowed to travel in the same car?
Yeah, we were always together, yeah.
The car didn't turn up one night, so they had to call a normal taxi. We're in the back of the normal taxi, like a pair of burglars. The poor guy must have been thinking, what have I picked up?
But how claustrophobic are...
It
I
was,
remember Nicola from Girls Aloud, which she did the first series, I think. She came on and the mask was tiny inside. I'm very claustrophobic, so I took one look and thought, how on earth do you, A, put it on, but sing in it?
So it was so hard. And I've got quite a small head, and there's like this click at the back, this thing they'd rent. It was piercing there. I'm literally trying to sing, but you can't sing that well in it. I think I could sing a lot better.
I loved it when you actually took your head off and your first thing was, does my hair?
It must be such a different experience, like, 'cause you two have both performed for years, and I always watch that and think, I can't imagine, it must feel so insular.
It is. It's really
horrible.
isolating, but the thing that you don't kind of realise, you don't think about, is, you know, when you're singing, you need to take big gulps of air sometimes.
Yeah.
And after you've done a big note, you try and get the air in, and all you're getting is dust.
Oh, no.
You go...
What I found was the width of the head, because you've got these ears, but you also can't see very much. I kept hitting my ear against Martin and turning the mask that way, and then I knocked the microphone, so...
But it's very funny, because everything you say is like, it was so much fun. I go, it sounds like hell on earth.
It was.
But it was so much fun because it was 2 weeks, which was a complete breakaway from real life.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Shirley and I walking out the house, getting dressed up as Cat and Mouse. It was something that was out of this reality.
It's like going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
And there were all sorts of guesses. David Walliams and Matt Lucas, Susanna Reeder, Ben Shepherd, Tom Fletcher and his wife Giovanna. None of them really got it right. I suppose Jonathan was close-ish with, he said EastEnders, but he said...
he kind of got close to it. And at one point, when he said that, I thought, he's going to get us next time. But I mean, they do it so well. You know, the clues are hidden so well.
Well, listen, I didn't get the clues myself. I thought they were so hard.
But that's why it's such a great family show.
Yeah.
Because you know, parents can sit there. It's not just all about the singing. It's not a sort of singing competition. No. It's a show that relates to all kind of generations.
Yeah,
the costumes are incredible, aren't they?
Oh, costumes, yeah.
There's a lot of speculation about Pigeon, and a lot of people think it's our Janet Street Porter.
Hey.
Have a look at Pigeon and see if you think it's Janet.
No, I haven't seen it.
Go on, Janet, give us a bit.
I'm saying nothing.
Give us a bit of that.
Do you know, the strangest thing on that show is that, like, in the corridors, you're walking past people every now and again all dressed up. But, you know, when I saw the show a couple of weeks ago and I saw Lulu had done it, I thought, oh, my goodness, I wanted to talk to Lulu. And I must probably walk past her and didn't know it was her.
Her costume was so cute. I wanted that. I wanted to be the cake, little
And what about
cupcakes.
lunchtime? What do you do about lunchtime?
Oh, well, they just keep you in your room, a bit like loose women. You get stuck in your dressing room, don't come out.
They feed you through a straw, so you can't take your mask off.
Now, you two made an album together.
That's right, in the swing of it, yeah.
In the swing of it.
Yeah.
And after this, what about another one?
I know, who knows? I'm happy to do another album.
It will be.
I love
cat,
going
cat
to the
and mouse
studio.
do swing.
Yeah.
Or even better, cat and mouse do punk.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
But will you have time? Because I'm obsessed with watching your house renovation.
Oh, you watch it?
I love it.
It's on number 9.
I love your Instagram. I love it.
It's hard work. I do make it look a lot nicer than it is, because some days I am drenched, I am cold, it's all going wrong. I mean, but we're nearly there, getting there.
But I mean, you are very hands-on, the two of you.
Shirley is the foreman.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong, right? I'm standing.
Don't mess with Shirley.
Yeah, I'm standing around talking to the builders about football, and Shirley walks past, and they all go, "Oh, quick!"
So my dad was a builder, and I actually was a labourer for my dad when I was younger, and he said I worked too fast and too hard. He said, you've got to slow down, because I'm getting bricks ready, I'm doing ballasts and shoveling. So I love houses and I love building, so it's a real passion.
Do you like housewarming as well?
Yeah. A little bit.
I just want to ask you a quick question, because on the show a few weeks ago we were talking about Nepo babies, and I don't know if you've heard people talking about it.
I hate that term.
Yeah,
I think it's
very
ridiculous.
passionate about it, aren't you?
Really
with
passionate,
Roman and
because
your
you don't
daughter?
choose you don't choose to be born into a certain family. And what about families like farmers? They inherit. Most farmers have to become farmers because they're inheriting the farm. What term is that? Or like, so and so and sons. That in history, that was part of the role, to take over the family business. But we never put this onto our kids, ever.
Do you know something? Let me tell you that a lot of the time, you see the guys, the young kids that have made it from families that are famous, but a lot of the times the young kids from famous families have a terrible time growing up. And you have to kind of weigh one off with the other, because young kids that I know have come from certain families that are famous, celebrities, have a tough time with it.
Yeah, because
Well, listen, but also your kids are very... Sorry to interrupt you, because we're going to get off the air in a sec, but your kids are very talented. Roman is a very talented presenter. He's taught you, actually, about presenting. Listen, we have got to go. We've loved watching Cat and Mouse, haven't we? Martin and Shirley Kemp, everybody. We'll carry on talking, but that is it for today. Tomorrow we're joined by Corrie's Alexandra Mardell. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Bye-bye.